Welcome to AlphaCars and Motorcycles. My name is Dimitri, and we are checking out the ultimate Mercedes Roadster. When I say ultimate, it is ultimate from the standpoint of its functionality. There are awesome Roadsters. We have an older one in inventory, so check that out. But this is the generation that gives you an enormous level of comfort and even safety, because if you go back to Mercedes from the 80s, 70s, 60s, those are the ones that are really awesome looking cars. They drive good, but they don't offer nearly as much comfort for long distance travel, and certainly not much of the safety. They were the safest cars for when they were built in the 50s, 70s, and 60s, 70s, and 80s. But this is 2002 Mercedes SL500 with still very, very low mileage and amazing ownership and service history. So we're going to show you all that. And the most important thing we're going to show you is this car. So at the time of this video, this vehicle is still available, and you can find all the details on our website at alphacars.com. So let's get to it. So we obviously are going to start with the vehicle overall condition. If you consider this vehicle to purchase, it's great if you can make it here to our AlphaCars, one of our locations. Right now we're filming at our Boxborough location. But any of the locations, if you can make it, you can always see the vehicle in person. And when you do that, you're going to be able to see just like we can see this vehicle here. But if you consider to purchase this vehicle from another state and you're not going to make it to AlphaCars, we are making this video so we can be your eyes and ears, and we're going to report on everything that we would want you to see when you're looking at the vehicle. So we're going to first start from the vehicle condition. And yes, this vehicle has gone through our very thorough inspection, and not only the inspection, but the follow-up work. And I'm happy to report that we know this car since 2011. That's when we received the car for the first time and sold it to a local customer, who then serviced it with us and then later traded it with us. And we in turn serviced the car and sold it to another local customer, who again serviced it with us and recently traded it back to us. The car has a little over 50,000 miles, and I'm not going to go through all the service history events, but they're very, very impressive, and they're documented in the listing, so check that out. But for those of you that consider the vehicle purchase without visiting us here at AlphaCars, please know that we will also handle your transportation. We can help you with financing, and we can certainly help you with evaluating your trade and putting the numbers together. Back to the vehicle. It has factory original paint. Every panel, not only the panel is original, it was never replaced, the paint is original. And we gave it a really thorough, what we call paint correction. So if you look at it, and the sun just did us a favor, a cloud did us a favor, because it just turned a little cloudy, so we can show you all the beautiful shine and depth of the factory original paint that was just enhanced by our paint correction technician, who did a really nice job, and it looks absolutely gorgeous. Look at the bumpers. We're going to show the bumpers. The bumper corners are free of any scuffs. The bumpers across the border look very, very nice. And there was a little bit of scuff here. And we're going to show you throughout the video, we're going to show you any of the blemishes. They're nothing major, but this is one of them. So we're going to show you that. And let's continue on. Let's see if we can get the side view of these beautiful body lines. that, by the way, this is not only it's the last production year, 2002, but it's the one that is enhanced by the AMG Sport Package. And that gives you an awesome looking details. So the bumper has a different shape on the bottom. It has this signature AMG widening on the bottom that in turn continues to the body line on the rocker panel cover, and you can see how this line goes up and another line kind of goes here, and all that makes its way to the rear bumper and wraps around the car in a nice sculptured body cladding. We're now looking at the staggered wider rear wheel rim. It's an AMG 5-spoke, and it's a little bit wider than the front, and those rims have now an almost new set of tires. And yes, there are some minor imperfections on the rims. The rims are nice and straight, they're road force balanced. The car feels really nice on the road. It doesn't have any shimmy, it doesn't pull to one side or the other. The brakes are brand new. We just put brand new rotors, and we put new pads, new hardware. You can see brand new rotors front and back, and the new pads, all new hardware, brake flush, alignment. All the maintenance on this car not only has been thorough throughout the years, but it's been updated by our service team. So we just kind of finished our walk around the vehicle, and as we're going to transition to look at the convertible top, I'm going to show two small areas that you can see right there. And there's an area here. There was a little bit of surface imperfection, very little surface rust starting here. So our technician opened it up, cleaned everything to bare metal, used the rust converting primer, and then did a nice little touch up and put the clear coat. Yes, it's noticeable, and it's there's a spot here and there's a small spot right here. It is barely noticeable. Like if I stand right here, Ian, who's running the camera, we're standing right here, you can't really see those spots.
No, you have to have someone point them out, and the color match is great.
Yep.
And the gloss from the clear coat matches the rest of the car.
Yes, and the reason we did it this way, it's obviously is going to be a driver's car. It's going to be driven, someone is going to enjoy it. We wanted to retain the original paint, and this is definitely a really reliable way to address these concerns without going into panel refinishing. So I think those were the two areas I was going to show you, and we're going to lower the convertible top, which works great. And by the way, for those of you that had convertibles with automatic tops, there are hydraulic cylinders that eventually start to leak fluid. This has been overhauled on this car, so that will not be an issue.
And there was just one more touch-up.
Oh, yes. Thank you, Ian. Where is it? Oh, there it is. You know what? Honestly, I didn't see that.
It is hard to see.
Yeah.
It is small on this side.
It is hard to see. I was not aware of this one. But here it is. It's right there. And on the close-up, I'm sure you can see it. I'm standing right here. You cannot see that. Since we are showing some blemishes, the top is original. The fabric is original, and it's nice and tight. It does not really separate anywhere. All the gaskets are lined perfectly, front, side, and this back gasket, everything is nice and it works great. And there were repairs done here. There were hairline cracks in the plastic that were repaired this way. It's holding up, and it's been done on both sides. So yes, potentially, if someone wants to update the convertible top and install the new one, that can be done, and I'm sure it's going to be a couple $1,000s. But this top is totally functional, and it doesn't leak any water. It looks great, and we just wanted to point that out. We're now going to lower the top so we can show you how it works. We're going to start the car. By the way, this interior is so comfortable. The seat is one of the most comfortable seats in the automotive industry. And this whole idea of the R129 Mercedes it's pretty much a substantiality of the 140 chassis. The flagship of the Mercedes S-Class was the 140 chassis, and the real Maybach Mercedes was built on the 140 chassis instead of the steering rack that had the steering box, which makes a really irreplaceable luxury experience when you are steering the vehicle. It is with the steering box versus the steering rack. And that's what the original Maybach, not the original from the 30s, original from the era of early 2000s. So, and now it is the Maybach. It's similar to the S-Class from the drivetrain standpoint. In the past, it was a car by itself. But what they shared in common was the front suspension of this car is very similar to the 140 S-Class, which was early 90s through late 90s S-Class. This was really one of the best driving cars, Mercedes S-Class driving cars. Look at that engine, look at that sound. So we are going to operate the convertible top.
I like the switch for the convertible top.
Yeah,
it looks like a top.
Yeah, it looks like a top. In fact, it's scaled down. Look at this tiny back window. Yeah, look at that.
I love that.
So all you need to do is you're gonna pull that up, and look at that. The windows go down, the rear gets unbuckled, and watch how fast it is. Watch how fast it is. It's one of the fastest convertible tops in the industry. We're basically all done. This is it. If I hold the switch, the windows go up. If I didn't hold the switch, the windows would stay down. So let's look at the car with the top down, because it does look, I think that's the best. That is really...
I'm sure that's what the designers had in mind.
Yes, yeah.
There's even the windscreen.
It's got a windscreen, which has the...
I like how it has this lower portion too, so it keeps your items from blowing away.
Oh yeah.
In the...
It creates this compartment back here.
Yeah.
So you can even put important papers there and go 100 miles an hour. And they will probably still stay intact. Well, you shouldn't go 100 miles an hour under any conditions. That was...
unless it's closed course.
But, yes,
yeah.
Unless it's a closed course. So, and this is also a pretty cool thing because this car was the benchmark of success from the early 90s on. And if you ever saw one in a magazine, you would see it with this up. Look at this, like from the back. If you would see this car from the back, just imagine a fancy restaurant in the mid-90s, and the SL comes up. This thing would always be up. That was the signature of the SL. And this comes off, so this can be removed, and then this would stay up as a nice detail. But this is a very important detail, because this is one of the first convertibles with a true rollover protection. This is a very substantial element that goes into the unibody of the vehicle. So this works off of the same computer for supplemental restraint system, and it propels up at the speed much higher than this. This is just for appearance reason. They give us the option to have that up. For safety reason, you can have it up, it's already there. But if you don't have it up, and God forbid, the vehicle exhibits the early elements, dynamics of the potential rollover, this is going to shoot up with the speed of the airbag explosion to have that up in time, so when that rollover takes place and the passenger is buckled and the airbag deploys, this will create a much safer environment for the human being that is exposed to this rollover in the convertible. So hopefully no one ever experiences that, and it serves the appearance reason of the luxury car Roadster car from the 90s. The interior is in exceptional condition, minimal, if any, well, I shouldn't say if any, there are some wear marks. There's a very little bit of wear on the seat bolster right here, just right there. Nothing through the leather, just on the surface right there. The seat bottom looks great.
This passenger seat is mighty impressive.
Yep, the passenger seat is almost like new condition. The wood is in very good condition with a little bit of, so there is, yeah, there's a little bit of, I'm not sure, I think it's a little touch-up of the little hairline crack that took place in the past. This portion of the center console is in impeccable condition. The wood around the shifter is in impeccable condition. Light surface wear on the leather, but no cracks.
And all the buttons on our controls here. I was actually testing out the automatic climate control, the AC.
Yeah.
It all works beautifully.
Yes.
So,
oh yeah, it blows nice and cold.
And I love this compartment right here.
Yeah.
Like even, it was almost ahead of its time. Now your phone or the modern items would fit in there perfectly.
Yes. Well, the ones that had the optional cellular phone,
Okay.
the phone was in there.
That would make sense then.
Yes. There was a dial pad, and you wouldn't have the compartment. It would be a module for the phone.
The phone mount.
Yeah.
Okay.
So a couple of more blemishes we're going to point out. I'm not sure if that door handle has that, but let me just go. So there's a little bit of wear here, and we can see that other side. I'm not sure how it is.
This side's a little better.
Yeah.
A couple minor marks,
Yeah.
but
the lower portion of the steering wheel and the wood of the steering wheel is in very good condition. There's a small hairline crack here, and you can actually see it much more in the sun. I didn't even, you couldn't see it, but there's a little bit of just normal wear and tear, not through the leather, but on the surface of the leather. But leather feels nice and actually soft. The instruments are in impeccable condition. There are no scuffs, no swirls. Every gauge works, every little light works, and all the gaskets and seals are nice and soft. And I drove this car after we finished all the brakes and all the service work, and after they road forced the tires. I drove it on the highway, and it had this hardtop, which we're going to show you. It was dead quiet inside. There was not a whistle. And even with the convertible top, it's a very quiet car. But with the hard top, I drove this car, and I enjoyed it a lot. It actually brought the old memories of my, I had a 1995 S500 that was amazing. And this car felt like that. It was substantial. Speaking of substantial, it has one big substantial windshield wiper blade. Yeah, these are the big,
I was just showing, I thought
large,
those cup holders
yeah,
are cool.
Yeah, they're big. You can put a lot of stuff in
And
there.
I like how they fold away,
Yeah.
so
Absolutely.
you can use it for storage otherwise.
Absolutely.
And you were saying about the windshield wiper.
It has a pretty impressive windshield wiper. Look at this. And watch how this works. You cannot see what's happening here, but it goes up and it follows almost this vertical line, and you would think it would hit that because it would, except it goes down a little bit kinematically, and it follows this line and then extends out and so forth. So it's a pretty impressive.
If you do that one more time, I'll slow the video down a little bit and we can see it.
Yeah, if you look at this, if you look at right here, you can see how it goes up and down.
That's quite amazing.
So that's a nice detail. And of course it has Mercedes classic cruise control. It couldn't be any simpler. I wish every car had these controls, because it really has this one lever, and you move it up to increase the speed or set the speed. You move it down to decrease the speed or set the decrease speed. And you move it away to turn off the cruise control or pull it towards you to reset your speed that was last. It was very, very simple.
I guess one thing I want to mention is the carpet is in such nice condition, especially for a lighter carpet where that's really going to get discolored kind of easily.
Yeah,
if it's not cared for. It looks, I'd sleep back there if I could fit back there.
Yes.
It looks very comfy.
And it's got the Bose sound system.
So those look like ports for a subwoofer.
Yep, here's the subwoofer. These are the ports. This is the amplifier. And that compartment on the other side is actually a car, it's just a little box. Well, I was going to say a glove box. You can fit a lot more than a set of gloves. You can fit a set of books, which come with this car, and in hardcover, not something you see these days. So all the books are here. That's all good. Yep. Yeah, look at the back of the seats. They're in great condition. The carpet here is in great condition. And there's a lot of room here. You can certainly fit your golf clubs. I think they will fit there fine. And speaking of cargo, let's check out what do we have in the trunk. And by the way, the car is running. So it's nice and quiet. I forgot that it's running. So these are the floor mats that go in there. This is the compartment to store that windbreaker. So you could even increase your trunk space by taking this out altogether. You see, you can leave it outside of your vehicle, so you have a little bit more trunk space. And over here, believe it or not, because it is unbelievable, there is a full-size spare. Can you believe that?
Spare too.
And an alloy spare.
Yeah.
And it's actually the spare that would allow you to travel at the design's, well, it says maximum 50 miles an hour. The tire certainly suggests you can go more than that.
Yeah, it's quite a sporty tire on that spare there.
I bet you they capped that because this is a staggered set of wheels. So if you had to put it in the rear,
it would upset the design handling.
It would upset the handling. Yeah. But from the standpoint of speed rating of this tire and wheel, this is definitely...
Yeah, it's a 95Y
yeah.
rated tire. So, and I like how too there is a port there for the battery tender.
Yeah, I remember we did that from one of the owners that serviced the car with us.
So and the factory first aid kit. More storage even down here. Yeah. This is quite deep in there.
And this compartment is in excellent condition. Look at all the hardware, nice and clean. And
even like the trunk gasket, nice and soft. All the kind of jams are all really clean.
And it's a deep trunk. You can put a lot of stuff there, definitely. And I cannot get over the shine because, again, I'm glad we went for paint correction. This car looked very, very nice. But we spent, I think we spent over a day. It was almost over 10 hours that we spent to do the paint correction. And, Ian, I didn't see this before. We're going to disclose one tiny little ding. So there is one small, tiny little ding right in this area. There's no paint damage, just a one tiny little ding.
Yeah, you can barely see how it reflects differently. And there was maybe a minor little one right here.
I cannot see that one.
You really...
Well, we're getting very picky.
You really have to have a picky eye to see that, so...
Okay, so, yeah, we're all about picky eyes and full disclosure. So we're going to peek at the engine and see how things are here. Things are very pretty over here. So we're looking at one of the most successful V8 engine known to the automotive industry. No timing belt to worry about, no known issues to worry about. It is essentially what you would call a bulletproof design. And we've done a lot of maintenance things like this has 2 spark plugs per cylinder to achieve an amazing fuel efficiency and performance with lean burning combustion. So that's dual spark plugs allow for that. There's plenty of room to service the engine. This is your oil filter, power steering, air filters, 2 of them. By the way, we replaced the air mass meter. When we did the inspection, technician noticed that there was a pending code for that. And we replaced that, and then technician and myself, we did plenty of road tests, extended road tests, and it's all good. Brake fluid is fresh and new. And the engine runs absolutely beautiful. It does not really shake at all. Yeah. If you put your hand on it, it's like engine is not running. This is amazing. Something very common on these, the sound deadening material would often disintegrate. This has been replaced on this vehicle. You can see it's nice and new and in great condition. So we're going to close this and we can leave it running. So now we will show you the, I mentioned that the car looks great with a soft top down, but it looks even better as a hard top coupe when the hard top is installed. So
it's almost like having two cars in one.
Absolutely. And look at the inside of this top and how it's finished on the inside. When this top is installed on that vehicle, and yes, you do need to have two people just to lower it, because you would align this portion, this portion would align with this hole right here. And this, when I say portion, this pin or pull down bracket, this is a pin. This one would align with this area, with this here. I'm sorry, disregard that. This would align with this right there. This would align with that. And this pull down would align here. So two people take that, bring that down.
We actually have a very popular video.
Oh, that's right.
On how to install and remove one.
And
so
remove
I'll have
one.
it linked right now.
Yes.
If you want to learn how.
Yep.
But very popular.
It's very, very simple, very, very easy. And then you would just need to plug this in. There is a receiving part for that, and that is to power up the defroster for the back window. And look at this defroster. It's not your typical lines. You don't even see the lines. This is something that you would see on a Range Rover windshield.
It looks like the G-Class windshield.
Yeah, it looks like the G-Class windshield or the Range Rover windshield. So there are very, very thin heating element.
Yeah, the lighting has to be just right to see them, especially on
yeah,
camera.
so this is in great condition. It's nice and tight.
Really
gaskets
nice.
are nice and soft. So when the top is installed, it really seals up that cabin to the S-Class level comfort. And that's the Mercedes top. It says Mercedes on it. It says right here, Mercedes-Benz USA. So this is the original Mercedes top cover.
It's cleaning instructions too.
Yes. Yep.
Very thorough.
Yep. So
now the exterior condition of the top.
Yeah, it's
which we also did do a paint correction.
We did the paint correction. It looks very, very nice. There are a couple of disclosures we're going to make. There's a one ding right here that has been touched up. And on one of the sides, we're going to find, there are a couple of very small hairline scratches that were touched up. I'm trying to find them. Here's one. You can barely see it right here. Hopefully we can see it on the camera. Those are barely noticeable. And I think that's about it. Everything here looks nice and clean. You can see the leading edge is in impeccable condition, no chips.
And we do have the detailed photos of the top on the vehicle as well.
Yeah, it does look really, really nice. So there it is. And should we take it for a quick spin down the road?
Sure.
Put it in drive. 57,659 miles. Yeah, this thing is like, you go over a bump. See this little bump? And you know you're in a luxury car.
Yeah.
You absolutely know that. And then it just pulls. What I noticed with powerful V8 engines, even if you're a car enthusiast, and even if you want to kind of like zip around things, when you get into something so luxurious, so powerful, that you almost just want to enjoy the luxury and you don't have to like go fast. This is a little bumpy of a road here we have, and as we go over bumps, you don't feel anything. It drives impeccable. We've taken this road on a Mustang with a sport suspension. That felt different.
It's a different experience.
Yeah. But it does, like, you just touch the gas pedal and this, like, okay.
It's just like a surge of smooth power.
Yeah. Yeah, we're not going to go very far. We didn't plan on the road test, but
it is a nice New England day.
Yeah.
The top's down, you can't resist, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, the dashboard is beautiful. The windshield is, there are no chips, there are no cracks. The mirror is substantial, and you can see a lot of things, excellent visibility. Even with the top up, it's got absolutely phenomenal visibility. So we're going to turn around here. And if you look to the other side of the road, we have maybe, what, 18, 20 feet there?
Yeah, so, just wider than a couple cars.
Yeah.
This back road's pretty thin.
So look at this. How much room do we still have there?
Maybe a couple feet.
Yeah.
Foot and a half.
So Mercedes, and this car is no exception, they have unreal, almost unbelievable radius of turning. So anyone that had Mercedes cars, even if they're all-wheel drive, and all-wheel drive usually limits the turning radius, extends the turning, makes it larger. But with Mercedes, if someone was driving Mercedes for a long time, and then they get into any other vehicle, they're like, what's wrong with this vehicle? Why do I need to make a 3-point turn? I used to be able to just turn around.
Brakes are nice and smooth.
Yeah.
The new brakes. We just had to brake for this vehicle. And look, we've been cruising. Like you said, the instrument cluster, everything works great. There's no lights or anything.
And I love the analog clock, which is Mercedes' signature. Simplistic, and it just blends with all the gauges nicely. Yeah, the mirror visibility is excellent. All the mirrors work awesome. Everything is to your driver's right-hand controls. So I'll fine-tune mine so I can see the body line is a little better. And this one, moving up and down, everything works. Yeah, when I'm in convertible, I like these up. This is nice. All the switches are here. Oops. Light. Another light. Yeah, this is for the overhead light, which we don't have now. I would take this convertible on any type of road trip for the reasons that, yes, it's very comfortable and you still feel like you're a driver of a specially designed, from the standpoint of driving qualities vehicle. And it certainly is very, very safe, and it is comfortable. So I'm going to do a gentle but a little more aggressive acceleration. It picks up speed effortlessly, and you can equally feel confident. You can, not only that it will gain the speed, but you can slow the car down. And did you hear that engine, like V8, how it downshifted? I didn't know if it would downshift. I thought it
did very smoothly.
Yeah?
Yeah. Because these are a 5-speed.
Yes.
So, and I think the transmissions of these are known as one of the best 5-speeds Mercedes made as far as reliability.
Yep. And this is what they, now all transmissions are like that, but this was the generation when they were proud to announce that they have electronically controlled transmission. And it was a big deal, it still is a big deal. And what it does to longevity of the transmission is a big deal, because when it shifts and the clutches do their job of equalizing speed, they don't wear as much when they're electronically controlled, because speed of input and output shaft is matched through various processes. So when the clutch happens, the clutch discs have minimal friction. So these guys, I think it was year 1995 when they made that as a standard feature. So, Ian, do you think we're missing anything?
I think just a buyer at this point. I think
Yes.
just someone to enjoy this vehicle.
That's right. We need a responsible individual to take over this vehicle. We took a very good care of this car since 2011. It's all documented in our listing, so check that out. We have, this is a printout, a short version of it, but this lists pretty much all the services at the different mileages that we've done, and people that own this car and serviced it with AlphaCars really enjoyed it, so we're hoping to find the right candidate for the next ownership. Let's show this car one more time. I do want to show how this looks without the windbreaker, because it is a very nice view. And that actually will show our viewers how to do this. So you would lower it a little bit, pull it forward, take this out, put the seat back, and look at this gorgeous view. So we're going to put this in the trunk. We now know there's a storage place for it. And this is all open. Looks beautiful. And this is really the look of the success from the 90s. Yeah, this all works great. So check this out. So even with a few very minor flaws that we did a great job pointing them out so you know exactly what you will be getting, this still offers an outstanding value to the next owner because of the state of service that this car has. And you pretty much can just get in the car and go to enjoy it. Go to enjoy the road, go to enjoy the driving experience. And from the maintenance standpoint, there is nothing that you need to do. And from the known expenses, we all know eventually all cars need tires, eventually cars need brakes, eventually they need maintenance. This is all up to date on this vehicle. So thank you very much for viewing this video. Please consider sharing, subscribing. Let us know which videos you like by simply clicking that like button. My name is Dimitri. I'm here with Ian, and until next time, thanks for viewing.